Like, I know I'm live. I just want to check if my sound is good before I start talking. Great, because I've done this before where my sound was terrible and I did the whole talk and no one could hear me. Anywho, all right, cool. So, manipulating web pages using DevTools. My name is Jemima Abu. I'm a self-taught front-end developer and school-taught systems engineer from Lagos, Nigeria, currently working at Telesoftes. And today we're going to be doing all of this. We're going to be manipulating websites using DevTools. I don't know about you guys, but when I get on the internet, I like to have like a very specific kind of experience. So yeah, we're going to cover how to edit elements, like we'll get into that. Changing style. Sometimes things are too bright or too dark and you want to fix that. We're going to manipulate DOMs, like using JavaScript to fill things out faster. And scraping data. This is my personal favorite because I used to use this a lot when I had to do assignments in school and you're trying to get a bunch of items from a table and it's like, yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. We're going to do a demo. And I have to this thing where I turn off my screen for a bit and then you'll see me again because yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do two screens, but it's fine. Okay. So I'm going to talk through what I'm doing so it doesn't look like I've left the page. I'm still here. Okay. What am I trying to share here? Yes, this is what we're trying to share. Great. So now we're in incognito because sometimes I don't like my Google search results to show. So the first thing we're going to do here is learn how to edit elements. And when it comes to editing elements, it's like a really easy thing to do. And the reason I say this is chaotic is because it is so easy to like put anything you want on a page, for example. So right here, I'm going to my Twitter page. Shameless self-plug, go follow me on Twitter. But that's not the point. I want to show you guys how I would edit this element if I was doing this like in the page. So now I've opened DevTools. DevTools are trying to make sure you can see that DevTools is open. And you can't see that DevTools is open because Chrome opens DevTools as a separate window. That is great. That is great news. What we're going to do, though, is that I'm going to show you how it would work. So you need to go to your, you can right-click on the page. So if you right-click on the page and you just inspect, it should just open up that element that you need in the DevTool, yes, in the DevTools page. And from here, we can pretty much edit this to say anything we want. So I'm going to edit this tweet right here. And just double click on that. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the point is, when it comes to the internet, nothing is really what's the word? Permanent. Anything can be edited. So whenever you see something online, take it with like a hint of caution because it's really easy to tweak all these pages whenever you'd like. Right. But you see, now another thing I have to do is figure out how to, you know what? I'm just going to share my screen. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Because I need to show you both Chrome tools and the screen at the same time. So yeah, we're just going to share the whole screen. Hopefully nothing, annoying pops up. Great. And we're sharing the entire screen now. So you guys should be able to see all of that. All right. So that's the first thing for editing elements. Another way that you can easily edit elements is we're going to go through that again because it is legal. Yeah, that's the fun part. It's completely legal to edit any element you want as long as you use DevTools. But the catch is that it's not going to be permanent. So for example, let's say I wanted to do this. The most amazing person ever. Right? So now I'm going to Google this, the most amazing person ever, and Google is going to show me a bunch of search results, and then they're going to say, no, actually, it's meant to, give me a sec. Yeah, it's meant to show that thing. Wow, there's this thing, I'm just going to type it myself because Google is stressing me. So once you open DevTools, I'm going to show you how to open DevTools again. You right click and you just go to inspect and it's going to pop up DevTools. And I'm going to come here, click on this. Let's change this to did you mean, right? We can delete this. This is a really easy way to delete elements. All you need to do is find the element. That is this one. No, hold on. Slowly, slowly. Okay, right here, perfect. And right click and delete element. That's gone. Same thing with this one. Right click, delete element. Now it's all gone. And I'm going to come here and finally change this to, see, now I'm going to go around and tell people that, did you know that if you Google awesome, Google literally says, did you mean Jemina Boo? And who's going to think I'm lying? Because boom, it's on the homepage of Google. Yeah, so that's one way you can use DevTools to like edit anything. Literally, I could go to CNN site and decide to change what is on their home screen, and like there's nothing stopping me. All I need to do is change it, take a screenshot, and boom, it's done. So yeah, editing elements, deleting elements, changing elements. There's also another really fun way that you can like basically make every web page a what's the word? Like a Microsoft Word document. We're going to do this. Oh my god, so many Chrome errors. You go to console. Console is still within DevTools, so you have the Elements tab here. The next tab to it is console. You're just going to write document.design mode, and we're going to set that to on. So now, literally everything on this page is like a Google. It's like a Google Doc. I can literally just write like Trump dog for no reason. I can come here and like change all of this. No, and now I have this news on the homepage of CNN. I mean, it's not true to the best of my knowledge. And if I reload the page, it's going to be gone. It's going to go back to normal. But for all intents and purposes, it did exist in that moment. I'm also keeping tab on the thingy. I'm also keeping tab on the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer them. So that's one way we can edit elements. The other thing we can do is change styles. So if I want to change styles of a page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wikipedia. I've always wanted to have a dark Wikipedia, but they don't want to they don't want to give me a dark version of Wikipedia. Great. And now I'm going to make this entire page dark mode. So the first thing we need to do is inspect the entire page once again. We're going to go back to elements and we're going to come to this little tab down here that says style. I'm going to zoom in on that a little so you guys can see it better. So what the style tag does is that it allows you like literally change all the styles of a page. So we're going to use a selector. A selector in CSS is like a thing. Wow, so specific. It's a thing. It's a thing that lets you select elements. So now I'm going to use the asterisk selector. That's going to select literally everything on the page. And I'm going to give everything on the page a background color of, let's say, 123. Yeah, and then we're going to make that important so it rides over all other background colors. Now we have like dark view. And we're going to set a regular color of white. Once again, make that important for everything. Yeah, now we have like, so now we have like dark mode Wikipedia. Boom. It was literally that simple. Yeah, it's great. I mean, maybe it's not as pretty as regular Wikipedia, but I think it's fine. Okay, so yeah, that's it for styling with CSS. We can use that to change anything we want. It doesn't just have to be like an all selector. You can choose to select specific elements. You can choose to change the colors of things or the looks of things. But once again, this only works in the browser that you're using. It's not going to show up anywhere else. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is manipulating the DOM. This is another of my personal favorites because this is always so useful for whenever I need to fill out a form or something. And I'm going to Neopets because Neopets is the reason I use this a lot. For anyone who doesn't use Neopets, you could get back on it. It's a nice place. They've changed their site now, so it's kind of pretty. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to check my pets into a hotel because that's something I do a lot because I'm not a very good owner, but I do have a lot of money. So I'm always keeping her in hotels. We're going to go to the map of Neopia and we're going to turn on Flash because Neopet needs Flash to run. Allow. Reload. Yes. And now we're here. We're going to go to Neopia Central. I have a point for all of this. I'm not just showing you guys how I play with my pets, no. And then we're going to go to the Neo Lodge. Yes, this is where we're trying to get. So now Neopets, great, great little site to pass time, but they have this really annoying thing. They have this form right here. And if you want to fill this form, like I like to treat my pets well, so I like to select all these things. But Neopets makes it impossible for you to select all these things because like I literally have to click each and everything. There's like no select all option. And I don't know about Neopets, but I'm a very busy person, so I can't spend my whole day clicking things. So what we can do is we can use the console to actually select all the things here. What we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to click this element. It's going to show us what element it is. So it's a TD element. And then inside that TD element, it's an input type checkbox. So this is what we're trying to target. So what we're going to do is we're going to target specifically all the inputs that are checkboxes, basically. We're going to use the JavaScript query selector. I've actually typed this before. So we're going to use JavaScript query selector all. And then in the little box, we're going to write input type equals checkbox. What this is going to do is select all the elements on the page that have an input type of checkbox. So if we click this, we're going to see right here, node list input, and it's going to show you. So if I hover on it, you can see which element it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's literally checked all of them. And now because this is a node list, we can't manipulate node lists. So what we're going to do is convert this to an array. Converting things to an array in JavaScript, you can use a spread operator. This is what a spread operator looks like. It's just you do like square braces and then you put 3 dots, and we're going to pass in that variable there. It's going to be inputs, and now this is an array. Put a full stop, and we're going to map. Mapping in JavaScript is when you apply functions to specific elements. So what we're trying to get here, basically, each input has the little function called checked that tells you if it's checked or not. So it tells you if it's checked or not. And then, so I've mapped this now. Inside the map, I'm going to call input. Input is the specific element that we're targeting. I'm going to use an arrow function, and I'm just going to write input.checked. So now you can see the little result here that tells you what of this. I'm just going to set this to true. And once I press enter, it literally checks every single thing on the page. So yeah, it's great. It's a great way of like manipulating things easier. You can do this with like lots of forms. It doesn't just have to be the what's the word I'm looking for here? It doesn't just have to be like a checkbox. It could be anything else you want. You could also use this to append things. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add another little thing here. I could easily just do once again, turn this to an array, impute. I forgot the method for appending in arrays. Yeah, so we're going to do this manually. We're going to use the manual method to do this. I'm going to go back to my elements and select the entire thing. That's the entire table here. There's this fun thing you can do with Chrome, by the way. If you select this element and you go to console and you write the $sign and 0, it shows you the last element that you selected, which is great, that's really great. So what I can do is $sign 0 append. No. Okay, so first, because it's Chrome, you have to array.push. That's what it is. Thank you. I'm good at my job. But yeah, sometimes we forget things. So we're going to, but I already started with this, so we're going to stick with this. So we're going to create a new paragraph. So in Chrome, you can create things using document dot create elements. We're going to create an element key. Right, so that's going to create a paragraph tag. We're going to set the inner text of that to, going to set it to this is a new paragraph because redundancy never hurts anyone. And finally, we're going to append this to this little thing that we have here. That's going to be 0.append. We're going to append par and enter. So you see, now this has been imputed in the it has been imputed in the little box place with JavaScript. So, that's fun. That's another fun way we can manipulate sites. Once again, I'm saying this again just so I don't cause any confusion. This only works in your browser, and this doesn't work anywhere else. But apart from chaotic things, this is also a really good way for like debugging. If you do build a lot of websites and you don't really have time, especially if you're building like React or something that requires you to build a lot of stuff, like to run npm build or whatever, this is a faster way to like easily check text. You can also use it to change images and everything without having to go back to your HTML code, type everything again, come back to the page and refresh. So yeah, it's great. It's great. Okay, and then the fourth thing we're going to do is scraping data. So for this, I need to go back to Wikipedia. And what we're going to do here is we're going to collect, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do list of Pokemon characters, Wikipedia. Yeah. Okay, okay, here we are. This is a list of characters in the Pokemon franchise. I know like 3 Pokemon, and that's like Charmander, Pikachu, and the blue one. Squirtle, yes. And I know these because I had a okay, all right, cool. I had a little I had a sweatshirt that had the 3 of them on it. And that's pretty much what I knew. So what I'm trying to find now is like a list of the characters. Uh no, I didn't mean list of Pokemon characters. I meant list of Pokemon. Did I say like Pokemon animals or it's like Pokemon just fine? Hold on. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Okay, here we are. List of Pokemon. Great. And then scroll, 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 scroll. Show me a list, please. Okay, great. Here we are. Here we are. Perfect. So we have 151 Pokemon. Great. Oh no, no, no. We have 600 of 640. Oh no, like 890. Amazing. That's too many characters, and I don't have time for that. So we're gonna change it. We're gonna do a list of let's say Harry Potter characters. I know there aren't that many Harry Potter characters. Yeah. So list of Harry Potter characters, Wikipedia, perfect. Like, I mean, I could have used the Pokemon, but I'm just trying to show something, and that's weird. Okay, great. Yeah, this looks like a more logical number. So now we have list of Harry Potter characters, but what I want to get specifically is, let's say, the list of Harry Potter. Should I do teachers or students? Let's do students. Let's say we want to collect a list of Harry Potter students. So what you're going to do is you go to the page you want to scrape the data from. It could be any page. It doesn't have to be Wikipedia. I'm just using this for an example. And once again, you're going to inspect the elements just to see like what element you're trying to get, basically. So we see that this is inside the list tag and it's a link. It's a link inside the list tag. Okay. So what we're going to try to target is all the links inside list tags. So we're going to come here, we're going to declare equals document the query selector all. I mean, okay. So let's use a different method. We could use document get elements by tag name. There's another method you can use, and we'll just target all the li tags basically. And if we run this, we should see we have about 530. That's fair. But we only need the ones that, if we open this, let's press this, you'll see that a lot of these ones are not what we need. So like for the first 99, it's just a bunch of random things, which is not what we need. What we need is somewhere around here, like around these little 200s, because like I said, we're just trying to get the list of students. So if you go to the inner text, yes, great. So we're just going to, let's just say we're just going to take out like, yeah, we're just going to take out the like middle hundreds basically. So a lot of this is just like a lot of JavaScript knowledge, but the base point is to just like know how to gather these elements. You could also use an extension for this, honestly, if you didn't want to go through all of this. But sometimes it's fun to fiddle with things. So we're going to do a list dot, what are we doing? Are we mapping? Yes. I forgot what I was trying to do with the list. Okay, we've collected the list and now we want to get all these links inside the list. Great. So we're going to map, we're going to say a const. So const in JavaScript is how we declare variables. You could use const or var or whatever. As long as you're working in console, it's fine. I would also say like this is really good for beginners because I wasn't very good with JavaScript, but then the more I started playing around with DevTools and everything, it was like it did get easier because now I'm seeing like real life applications. So it became fun, you know? So yeah, this is another thing you can try if you want to get into this. So we're going to do a const and it's going to be God, I hate this. I started talking again and I forgot what I said I was going to do earlier. So I'm going to go back. Okay, we have the list and we've collected all the li tags. And now we're trying to filter it. Yes. So we're going to do a const fill list. And it's going to be that list element we created earlier. And we're just going to filter. Let's say we're going to filter all the elements where the inner text is all these things, includes the word students. Inner text includes, and we're going to say students. And I close that, right? Yes. Right, list of filter is not a function because list is not an array. List is a HTML list. So what we need to do is convert this to an array using that spread function. Lord, give me strength. Field list has already been declared because we used const. And now it's this whole thing with Chrome. Once you use const, even if it has an error, you can't use that variable again. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a new variable. We're going to call that fill list. Haha. Bypassing the system. Going to include the list array again, and then we're going to filter it again. That's that X. Get that inner text. Chrome can't keep me down, no. Inner text includes, and we're going to take the word students. And now, fingers crossed, it will work this time. Yeah, awesome. So now we have a list of 40 elements where it only includes the word student. So if we go down to this, we'll see that if we go to the inner text, we can see Hannah Abbott and everything. So now we don't want the whole list anymore. We just want the actual text. So we're going to do const student list, same thing we did earlier. So that's going to be equals to fill list dot map x dot inner text. What this is going to do is return an array that is just filled with the inner text only. And if I enter students, boom, we have a list of the Harry Potter students, which is great. That's great. So you can scroll down here and see all of them. But of course, I don't want the remaining text. I just want the student names. So we're going to use this helpful little split operator, like string splits. So we need to get this particular thing. You need to usually if you're trying to split something, it's better to actually click the thing because HTML elements have different text. So this, even if you're like, oh, it's a hyphen and you write this is not exactly the same thing as what is there. So you need to actually select the thing. So we're going to do const student names, and it's going to be equals to students.map. And we're going to split each student. Students dot, no, it's supposed to be student, yes. Hierarchy student dot split. We're splitting by this key, and then we're just going to take the first, because splitting is going to divide it into two arrays. So what we want to do is just get the first key in that array, and in arrays we count from 0. So yeah, we're going to target the first thing in the array, and if we press enter and we return student names, and boom, we have a list of all the student names in Harry Potter. And that's about that. So yeah, it's a really fun way to just play around with the browser. You don't have to be a developer to play around with the browser. You don't have to have any prior HTML or CSS knowledge. It does help, but it's not like you have to know it. So anybody can do this. You can choose to do whatever you want as long as you're in DevTools. You can choose to you can choose to change text, you can choose to change images, links, yada, yada, yada. It's fun. Another fun thing you can use this for is to test out designs. If you're trying to work on a new design and trying to see how it looks, you can use that. If you're trying to debug your styles, debug things in console, you can also use that. So yeah, manipulating web pages, Totally cool, totally fun, totally open to everyone. I rhymed. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I rhymed, and that's great. Okay. So, yeah, that was the demo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something. I hope the JavaScript part wasn't too like technical because I didn't want it to be very technical. So, yeah, that was the demo. Hope it was fun. And we have a bunch of resources that you can use to actually get into if you're trying to read up on this more. So, getting started with the DOM, that's just like this really nice article by Edin Young to know how to know what the DOM is. The DOM is like that little the screens you see on your browser. It's a document object model. To know how it works, what it's made up of, a list of cool Chrome DevTools tips and tricks by Flavia Copes. Another really cool way of like more things you can do with Chrome that I didn't mention here. Console Utilities API reference. This is part of the Chrome documentation. Another way for like knowing how to manipulate the console. JavaScript selecting DOM elements. More ways you can select like all the documents, the query selector document or get elements by ID, and how to manipulate arrays in JavaScript. So that's for mostly when you're doing like the data manipulation thing, just to like know more of it. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed the talk. I hope it was fine. I hope I didn't talk too fast. Okay. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on my website or at Jemima Abu. I'm at Jemima Abu everywhere. That's on LinkedIn, Twitter, GitHub, wherever. Or you can ask them in the Discord chat. Actually, you should probably just send me, like, if you have any questions, you should just ask me directly because the Twitch chat is long. Anywho, yeah, I hope we enjoyed the talk. And thank you for tuning in. And that's it from me. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.